Hello students, in this video, we will be learning about the Vedic society from ancient India. It started with the migration of the Aryans, who were a group of Indo-European nomads who migrated across Eurasia, united by shared language and cultural identity. As speakers of Indo-European languages, they originated from the steppes between Russia and Central Asia, later spreading across Europe, Iran, and India. Their nomadic lifestyle centered on pastoralism, with agriculture as a secondary occupation. Horse domestication enabled their expansion into Western Asia by 2000 BC. This wide-scale migration and lifestyle set the stage for their cultural and religious developments. Vedic age is defined by the Vedas, which were the foundational text of the civilization state of these people. Much of the Vedas have still survived and are the oldest existing Hindu texts. The Rig Veda is our main source on the Aryans, who migrated from Central Asia to Iran and India. The term Arya appears throughout, identifying them as a distinct cultural group. As the oldest Indo-European text, the Rig Veda comprises 10 mandalas with prayers to deities like Agni, Indra, Mitra, and Varun. The Rig Veda shares deity names and social terminology with the Iranian Avesta, confirming their common Indo-European roots. These linguistic and religious parallels offer strong evidence of a shared ancestral culture among Indo-European peoples. We also have Kassite inscriptions from 1600 BC in Iraq and Mitanni inscriptions from the 14th century BC mark Aryan migration into India. Early Aryans inhabited Afghanistan, NWFP, Punjab, and western Uttar Pradesh. The Rig Veda cites the Kubha, Indus and its 5 branches, with Indus, or Sindhu, as their main river. The sacred Saraswati, known as Naditma, completed the land of the 7 rivers, their first Indian homeland. These references solidify their geographical presence and reflect the centrality of rivers in their settlement and spiritual life. Aryans used to worship Lord Indra, known as Purandara, and was celebrated in the Rig Veda as the breaker of forts, leading victories against Aryan enemies. Aryan military superiority stemmed from their horse-drawn chariots and advanced weaponry, including coats of mail, or Geman, which they introduced to West Asia and India. Thus, technological advantages played crucial roles in their dominance. The Aryans comprised of 5 tribes, Panchajna, with the Bharats and Tritsu as the dominant clans under priest Vasistha's guidance. The name Bharatvarsh derives from the powerful Bharat tribe. In the legendary Battle of 10 Kings, the Bharats faced an alliance of 5 Aryan and 5 non-Aryan chiefs. This internal conflict highlights the competitive nature of tribal politics in early Vedic society. In the Battle of 10 Kings at River Parushni, Sudas led the Bharats to victory over the Ten-King alliance. The victorious Bharats merged with the Purus, forming the powerful Kuru tribe. The Kuru-Panchala alliance later dominated the upper Gangetic region. This consolidation of tribes laid the foundation for future political units and kingdoms. Let's learn about their material life. They used wooden plowshares and mastered basic farming techniques including sowing and harvesting. Cattle formed their main wealth. Their war term Gavishti meant search for cows, reflecting their pastoral nature. Skilled craftsmen included carpenters, chariot makers, weavers, and potters. Economic life, therefore, revolved around both agriculture and animal husbandry, supplemented by artisanal production. There were many crafts from that era too. What routes did they use? Mainly land routes were known. The term ayas was used for copper or bronze. They practiced many crafts and arts. The Rig Vedic people were skilled craftsmen who understood metalworking, as evidenced by the term ayas, meaning copper or bronze. They primarily used land routes for travel, with Samudra referring to a collection of water rather than sea routes. This period represents a pre-iron phase of the painted grey ware culture, coinciding with the Rig Vedic era. Hence, their material culture was rooted in a Bronze Age context, with limited maritime knowledge. Let's talk about the polity in the Vedic age. The Rajan led Rig-Vedic tribes, evolving from elected chief to hereditary king. The Sabha, Samiti, Vidatta, and Gana assemblies provided checks on royal power, with both genders participating in key forums. The Rajan served as tribal war leader. Kingship shifted from elected to inherited. The Samiti chose early chiefs. The king served as the tribe's guardian. This gradual political evolution reflects a shift from tribal egalitarianism towards centralized authority. For administration purposes, the Purohita was the most important functionary. Priests such as Vashisht and Vishwamitra played vital roles, with Vishwamitra composing the Gayatri Mantra. The Senani was the military leader with weapons. Spies monitored unsocial activities. The Purohita held high influence in the king's administration. Chiefs received voluntary Bali offerings. Religious and administrative institutions were deeply intertwined, reinforcing the power of priestly classes. In the village, Vrajapti was the administrator of large pasture lands. Kulapas were family heads under the Vrajapti. Gramini was a military commander turned village head. Military units included Vrata, Gana, Grama, and Sardha. Vrajapatis oversaw territories through Kulapas and Graminis, with the latter evolving from military to civil leadership. Defense was organized through tribal military units, highlighting the tribal system's importance. These local administrative roles ensured effective governance and defense within a tribal framework. As a bronze society, the Rig-Vedic society had a tribalistic social structure. There are 275 mentions of the term Jana in the Rig-Veda. The tribe formed the foundation of Rig-Vedic social structure, with tribal loyalty being paramount. Unlike later periods, the term Janpada for territory was not yet in use. There are 170 mentions of Vis in the Rig-Veda. The Vis represented tribal divisions, which further split into grama, or smaller units. These units often engaged in sangrama, or conflicts, eventually leading to the formation of the Vaishya Varna. Thus, early social divisions were based more on kinship and mobility than fixed geography. Family or the term Kula is rarely mentioned in the Rig-Veda. The term Graha occurs frequently. It was a patriarchal society. Families comprised multiple generations living under one roof. This suggests a loosely structured but extended household system rooted in male lineage. What was the status of women in the Rigvedic society? Women took part in assemblies and sacrificial rituals alongside their husbands. 5 women composed hymns, later expanding to 20. Levirate and widow remarriage were common. Marriage age was 16 to 17, with no child marriages. Hymns mention desires for children and cattle, showing no bias against daughters. These details reflect a society where women had relative freedom and social presence, especially in religious life. There were social divisions in the Vedic society. Rig-Vedic society began with 2 divisions, Arya Varna and Dasa Varna. Growing wealth among tribal chiefs and priests led to a 3-tier system of warriors, priests, and common people, similar to Iranian society. The Shudras emerged as a 4th class in the 10th book of the Rig Veda. While occupational specializations existed, they remained flexible, with families often practicing multiple professions. Social status was primarily determined by ownership of cattle, chariots, horses, and slaves. This flexible social structure was very different from the strict caste system that developed later. Distribution of war spoils created initial social inequalities, favoring princes and priests. Because the pastoral economy didn't have land grants or regular grain donations, people couldn't steadily gather wealth. Despite these differences, society remained largely tribal and egalitarian. There were no formal systems of taxation or land ownership in Rigvedic society. This balance between hierarchy and egalitarianism defined the early Vedic order. Who were the Vedic gods? Indra was the warlord. As the supreme deity in the Rig Veda, Indra was known as Purandara, the breaker of forts. A powerful warlord with 250 hymns dedicated to him, he led iron armies to victory and controlled rainfall. Agni, the fire god, was second in importance. He received 200 hymns. He served as the intermediary between gods and humans, holding special significance in both Indian and Iranian worship. The centrality of these deities reflected the Aryans' martial values and ritualistic worldview. Soma served as both plant deity and sacred intoxicating drink. The Maruts, powerful storm gods, embodied natural forces with human characteristics. Notable goddesses Aditi and Ushas, Dawn, held secondary roles in the pantheon. Together, these deities formed a rich and dynamic spiritual landscape for Rigvedic society. Devotees practiced through prayers and sacrifices, both personal and communal. Worship and sacrifice were an integral part of the society. Rituals were not just spiritual duties but vital expressions of social unity. Tribes devoted themselves to specific deities, gathering for communal prayers and sacrifices. Agni and Indra were primary figures in these tribal ceremonies. The Rigvedic period featured simple grain and vegetable offerings. Prayers sought basic necessities, offspring, livestock, sustenance, and prosperity. We hope that you have understood the topic. To watch more videos and study effectively, check out the EduRev app and website.